culture trumps strategy. Hey, this is Pastor Matt with your Missionary Pathway Mission Insight, and this is an important one. See, a great strategy isn't enough to overcome an unhealthy culture. You can have the best missional tools, plans, and strategies, but the reality is this: if you don't have a culture of mission, those aren't going to go anywhere. See, in order to be able to implement great missional strategies, you need to, at the very least, have a willing culture, and at the best, a missional culture. If you don't, you're gonna find you're fighting an uphill battle that never ends. Look, the reality is this: a willing and healthy culture will make more impact than an abundance of resources ever could or ever will. So before you try to bring great missional strategies to a ministry, you have to build a missional cultural foundation. Here are a few keys that you can keep in mind. Number one, change takes time. Even when you have a willing missional culture, the reality is this: if you're trying to lead change and change toward mission, it's going to take time. So you have to be willing to put in the time. In order to put that in without getting frustrated or burnt out, you also have to start with a coalition of the willing. So what do we mean when we say a coalition of the willing? Well, most ministries have about 20% who are ready for something more. So focus your time and your attention on the 20%. Pour the missional tools and practices in that they need. Help them figure out how to go on mission. Rather than trying to change the whole culture, if you will focus your time and energy, your best time and your best energy on that 20%, you will find you move the missional ball so much farther, so much faster than if you tried to change the whole thing. The next thing I would tell you is this: remember that stories shape culture. Stories have a power to shape culture in a way that strategy never could or never will. So make sure that when you're trying to go on mission, you're sharing the stories that help shape that culture. Share the stories of that 20% that's going out on mission. Share the stories of the impact that you're seeing happen through doing some of these missional practices that you're talking about. And then finally, share stories of the people you're meeting in the community. Because the more you share stories of those from the community, the more you're gonna find your church develops an empathy for those in the community. So make sure you're sharing stories, because stories shape culture. And then finally, and this is one that can only be applied through prayer and the Holy Spirit, don't spin your wheels. Look, the reality is this: you need to judge whether your time is going to be best spent reshaping that culture or whether it will be best spent somewhere else. And that's not something that I can give you a prescription for. Through prayer and discernment with the Holy Spirit, you have to decide if your time and energy is best spent trying to shape and shift a culture, or whether it's going to be best spent moving into a new culture or creating a new culture all its own. The reality is this: even Jesus told his disciples when they went into some missional areas that they would have to wipe the dust off their feet. And the reality is, you might not be the person to reshape that culture. But here's the key: it doesn't mean there's no hope for that mission or that ministry. It just means you're not the one that God is calling in to do that culture-shaping missional work. He could be calling somebody else as he's calling you into something else. Make sure through prayer and discernment you're not spinning your wheels. But realize it's still going to take time, and that's why it's a process of prayer and discernment. I hope this Missionary Pathway Mission Insight has helped you out. If you'd like to find more mission insights, you can jump on YouTube. Go to the Kairos Network on YouTube, where you can find our whole Mission Insight series, or you can click the link below to have these mission insights delivered directly to your inbox every single Monday. And if you'd like to learn some more practices or principles that you can apply to do mission, or even a tool that you could use to help raise up that 20%, check out the missionarypathway.org. That's missionarypathway.org. Until next week, we'll see you right here on Mission Insights.